Welcome to this new vlog. It might seem like a nice day. We have some sunshine and some blue parts of the sky, but it's actually pretty horrible. This morning I got some videos of the state of the track. I'll also show you some of the state here. It's been hailing a lot these past few days, and it's been raining a lot these past few days. So when we thought things couldn't get any worse, they did. This is the entrance. It didn't used to be this muddy, but that's because of the machines that came here. It's not that bad, I'm not really sucking in, but it's slippery and it just looks awful because this is the entrance. I also see that for the first time we have puddles in our round pen. That one hasn't been that wet at all. So I think it's safe to say that we've reached a new low point. I'm gonna collect this one. Let me check if the other one is also empty, because then the horses are gonna play with it and then they're gonna break it. It's pretty empty and I want them to drink out of the pool. I'll show you why. Ooh, and before I already had the first step, got stuck in the mud. But let's stay positive, because yesterday this area was opened for the horses. Ooh, so this is the new sand and it is really nice, but it's not optimal. I'll see. Okay, so this new sand has been here for 4 weeks and it has to dry a long time before it's really hard and solid and the horses don't get stuck in it every step. Look, there's even a little river. You can see it flowing, coming from the arena, which is great. Oh, look at the sides. So it's coming from here. Yeah, ideally it would flow outside of our terrain, but that's also flooded already. As I was saying, this is not ideal. Okay, no, I was trying to be positive and saying the horses don't really get sucked into this new sand as much as we thought and as much as in the beginning. All the hoof prints here are pretty shallow, like only like 2 centimeters, which is like 2 fingers. This much, which is not much at all. So yeah, this is mostly the part that I wasn't really, you'll see. I'm pretty sad about all this. Okay, well, this looks like it's our pool, but actually that is our pool, that little circle, and this is our field. And behind that is supposed to be, or between that is supposed to be a path, and then behind that is supposed to be another field, a smaller field, and then an area where they would be able to walk dry. Yeah, this sucks. I'm trying to be positive. Yeah, the good thing is there are just a few more days of this intense rain and then it's gonna be dry and a lot warmer for as far as we can look. So this week is still gonna be shitty. The week after that is gonna be a lot nicer. We've had discussions about this as well in our chat in the group with all the owners for the horses, talking about, do we want them to be in the mud or do we want them to have a chance to get sick from the grass? I had to Google it. Laminitis is the disease that I'm talking about. It's a very different term in Dutch. And with almost all our horses having a very round belly and not being very much in work at the moment, most of us are scared that our horses might get laminitis. That is something very serious, because once your horse gets that once, they usually get it more times in their life, and you just really don't want them, because a lot of horses need to be put down because of it. So very anxious about that. So do we want the chance for that, or do we want all the struggles that you get from having them in the mud here? Well, this is not really that big of a problem. It has puddles, but otherwise it is pretty good. But the mud on the other side is, you have other diseases that you have chances for, but not deadly ones, like laminitis. So it's a struggle. We were planning on, like in the middle of all the water, to put this leftover sand on the other side of the poles over there, and then tile it and get it ready for a shelter. We're gonna do that the day after tomorrow. It's not gonna be gone by then, this water. So I think we'll focus on other areas that we can improve. Maybe we can put a stone path next to the pallets, next to the arena. We're really in a survival mode right now. But yeah, positivity. We are very happy that our horses have the field. Ooh, I'm losing my boot. I got it again. So I'll show you just how happy they are. You probably can see them. I'll point at them with my stick. Those are the horses. I'm going to them. Gonna work with Aslan a little bit. And maybe Lindy also wants to join me. She has some physical struggles. Oh, I got stuck. So I'll just see if the struggles cause her to make it very hard for her to be on a circle, to be lunged with a line. She does really need to find her own body position and the way she uses her body. And the best to do that is in Liberty. As you know, I am a huge fan of working in Liberty. But in the field, in this big of a field, that's just not gonna work with actually training her. So I'm just gonna do a basic start and focus on positive experiences and see how that goes. So I'll take you with me in the differences between a more advanced training with Aslan and a very basic training with Lindy, because I'm sure not a lot of people work on the field with their horses, but there are lots of benefits, as you've seen in a previous vlog. So this is a great opportunity to show you how I built that up. But first, what you can eventually do, because with Aslan I'm just gonna try a normal training. Of course, I still have a huge distance. I don't even know which one of them is Aslan at this point, so not sure how his day is going with the cold, with the hail. Just like us, the horses get a little bit cranky from that as well. So first I'll just see how he is today, and then I'll decide what kind of training we'll be having. Alright, so as you have heard, I've lost my microphone in the middle of this video, or actually kind of in the beginning. So I've decided to do a voiceover on the training. The biggest difference between Aslan and Lindy's training is already showing at the beginning, and throughout the rest of the training is really how I approach them. So with Aslan, we've been together for quite a few years already. I know how I can approach him, if I walk towards him in a straight line, he's just gonna know what my intentions are. He's just gonna stand still, lift his head and let me catch him with a halter. And then we can just continue or start the training and continue where we left off the day before. I know exactly what I can expect from him. I know exactly what he's saying to me with his body language. And a big part of that is also visible in these clips, is he's very slow. He was very unmotivated. He preferred to eat grass. So already here I decided, well, lunging is not really gonna be a thing today. Let's just try and do some simple working in hand exercises that I know he's loving. and he loves showing off. So I'm gonna do some leg yielding just to get his attention with me and get him a little bit more motivated and excited to work with me. Of course, I work a lot with treats, with clicker training. So then when he does some of those exercises well, he gets a click and a treat, which also helps motivate him. Here I'm asking his head low, and I would like to practice with backing up with a lower head. But he was, even though the field isn't very wet, it was still a little squishy. And Aslan wasn't really sure if he could back up that well then. So it was also a little bit of a trust exercise. But because of that, we had some miscommunications here. And I might have just asked too much. So here I continued with some other exercises. Or give him a break. And that is really how all our trainings are. Like, I always say I listen to my horses, and a lot of people think that means that I just let them decide whatever we're doing. No, we're doing what I want. But in that, I'm listening to what they're saying to me. So Aslan wasn't very motivated to lunge with me. Okay, fine. Let's try something else first. Later I am going to try and lunge him. I think here already. And let's find your motivation together in some simple exercises. Maybe you are a little bit stiff, so those exercises will help stretch you out and warm you up a little bit. But then when I started with lunging, I really had to give a lot for him to understand what I wanted him to do, which eventually caused us to stop the training pretty fast. Which is fine, because that is also some of the things that people often say is you should always end the training well, at a point where you're happy with how things have gone. I don't really believe in that. If a training isn't going well, and I know Aslan is a little bit stiff, it's been very cold, so it might have just been cold on his muscles as well, as he's still growing his winter coat. So he's not fully protected for the weather still, or yet. So I understand that there are some limits to what he can handle. This is also a day where we put them on the field 24/7. So that's also some impact on his body and his mind, of course. It is a big change for them in how they're living now. And of course we built that up, but I can definitely understand that that's still a lot for a horse. I tried to find a place in the field where there are less bushes to try if he was going to be more motivated and easily to see if it's easier for him to walk there and trot there, but it just didn't really work out today. So after this I stopped the training and will continue with Lindy. So as I said, the difference between Aslan and Lindy is for a big part in how I approach them. And I already start with taking the flag off of the stick, because she doesn't really need much yet. She's actually pretty tensed when I work with her. She goes into trot pretty fast. So with my stick, I just want to guide her onto a circle, because she doesn't really understand that either still. So I just want to point her somewhere. That's going to be enough. I can just drop it if it's too much, but I already know that the flag is going to be too much for sure. Aslan was still, he didn't really want to train that much, but he was eager to get some attention and some treats, of course. So he's just a cutie pie asking for some attention, and this is how he asks me to lick my hands, which is something that suits him a little bit. I believe that is something a lot of horses do, and it has a connection to them drinking with their mother when they were full, which is soothing for them. And it also shows that he was indeed having some tension, which then I can help him with in this way. Then I was on my way to Lindy, and she's pretty far in the field, but I already saw that she was napping. And she's been with me for 3 months now, and she has not laid down for more than 1 minute one time, and that is it. So she's very tired. So you can already see here that I'm walking towards her in a circle, and I actually end up standing in a pretty big distance from her for a short while, so that she can really wake up if she wants to, or maybe sleep if she wants to. With Aslan, I know that when he's really tired but not really sure if it's safe enough for him to really lie flat, then it really helps him if I sit with him or lie down with him. And then he often does feel safe enough to lie down together. And then he can really take the rest that he needs. So I really like doing that as well to help him. But I know a lot of horses don't really like to be bothered when they're trying to nap. And of course, with Lindy and I not knowing each other for that long still, I wanted to keep a distance. I eventually will go squat here a little bit as well to make myself smaller and lower to invite her to maybe also do that. And what she does when she's this tired is she's really wobbly on her legs. She's really almost falling over because of how tired she is, but she just doesn't feel safe enough to really sleep. So what I did in this session was not a training as much as a physical training, but it was more, well, it was very important for us to bond and to connect and to help her feel safe. So what I did was just stand with her, and then eventually I came a little bit closer and I sat down with her in the hopes that she would feel safe enough to go also lie down. She didn't do it at that time, but later, after filming, I was giving her a massage, and then she was still wobbly very much on her legs, almost falling over, almost falling on top of me. Still not feeling safe enough to actually lie down. But then when I was gone and the horses were left alone, and Aslan's leaser came, she sent me some photos and videos of her actually lying down. So I'm very happy, very proud of her. I heard that it wasn't for long, a few minutes, but it's already a huge step for her. So I'm very excited for her to continue with feeling more safe and hopefully actually lying down a lot more, because that's really going to help her in her whole process of everything she still has to learn physically and mentally. And if you're able to get a good rest in between those learning sessions, or the lessons or the trainings, or whatever you want to call it, but also in the herd she's learning a lot, that is so nice, so valuable if she is able to really take her time and process that all in her sleep. So I'm very looking forward to her being able to do that on our very nice dry fields. So thank you very much for watching this video. Like always with horses, I wanted to do something. I had plans on showing you something, and then I listened to my horses instead, and we get a whole different video. But I still hope you enjoyed it, and I plan on making more videos of training with them, so don't worry, you'll see her in action soon. So I hope you subscribe, and maybe I'll see you in the next video. Bye!